Good afternoon. I will begin by saying how thrilled I am to return to the Ducks organization and be named the second coach in San Diego Gulls history. A big thanks to Henry and Susan Samueli, Jillian Redden, Michael Schumann, Bob Murphy for this wonderful opportunity. You know what, the hockey world, it really is, it's a small fraternity, and San Diego is considered just one of the premier franchises in the American Hockey League. And whether you're talking to players, you're talking to coaches, management, which are many are around here today, they just rave about our team and our fan base and the support that they received from the community. So we're thrilled to be a part of that. And in the area, you see the growth of hockey in San Diego. We were just talking that there's 7 rinks in the area. You see the players that are playing in junior, at the college level and at the professional level that grew up in this area. Now I did coach women's hockey as well, and I've really enjoyed seeing that Lady Duck logo next to a lot of ladies that are playing at the college level or representing their country at the international level. So we consider that to be part of our mission, to grow the game at the grassroots level as well here in the area. So as Fergie mentioned, player development, it really is. It's always been a priority in the organization and will continue to be our goals to produce players to help the Ducks win their second Stanley Cup. Now, in saying that as well, we're on the heels of a Western Conference Finals appearance. And there's an expectation of success here. And I am really excited to begin the work necessary to help this team and help these young players grow into fine young men and into players that can help the Duck in the future. So I'm just thrilled to be here. My family and I, we are extremely excited to become a part of the community, and I appreciate you all taking the time today and coming out and welcoming us to San Diego. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Bob, and thank you, Kevin. Now for the media today, we're going to open it up.
Freelance columnist and a talk show host. Kevin, when you got back to the NHL after the Florida experience and you were the assistant in Chicago,
right,
and then it ended badly when the staff got taken out, how do you draw the line? Should I try to get another NHL assistant job, or do I want to be a head coach, and am I willing to go back and ride the buses in the American League and, in essence, do what Dallas did?
Right. No, it's a good question, and I think you know what, you're a head coach for 9 years, you have a chance to run your own program, and something that I really enjoyed. And after we were let go in Chicago, I had a chance to represent Canada at the Spengler Cup this year, which was in Switzerland. Really enjoyed that experience, but for me, I was able to work with one of, if not the best coach ever in the game, in Joel Quenneville, and it was a fabulous number of years for me. I feel like I learned a bucket load of things from Joel, but I think when you decide what you're going to do, you really set your focus, and I felt like I wanted a chance to run my own program here again, and that's not through the NHL at this point. So to come back and be a part of an organization that, you know, it has such a great commitment to doing things the proper way, and that starts at the top with the Samielis. It works into your whole program with your scouting staff, the players that I've seen when I was with the organization in the past. So that was kind of my thought process, that, yeah, it would have been nice to get back, and, you know, it's great when you're working with the best players in the world, but to come and work with these young players, there's great enjoyment in that as well.
Kevin, Bryce Miller, I'm a sports columnist at the Union Tribune in town. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bryce.
With your history with Florida and being an Olympic head coach and the stops in Chicago, with, as Fergie mentioned, the focus on development at this level, how are you uniquely positioned to fulfill that based on where you've been so far?
Well, I think you take something from everywhere you've been. I think that's part of the experience, and that's one of the things that you draw on, and I think that may end up putting your quote-unquote resume at the top of the list. That, yes, I've worked with Marian Hossa, I've worked with Duncan Keith for 4 to 5 years. I've also worked on the women's side of the game, which improves your communication skills. You know, there's a ton of things that go along, and for me, you also, you know what, it's been a while since I've played, but you still rely on a lot of your own experiences as a player. As much as so many areas of the game have changed, you reach back and some of the things that haven't changed, you know, you go through a tough stretch, what have you, you've learned, and the chance to impart that on players that are coming up, I think that's the real key. That's where the enjoyment is when you see players go on to have long, successful careers. So I think that's kind of where I feel that I have a strength in.
Andy gave us your resume as a player, 19 NHL seasons, apparently too many penalty minutes to count by your wife's count. Your style as a player, what was it, and will you institute that with your program here as well?
Well, I think as a coach, what happens, and I've seen this before, whether it's working with Joel or working with other coaches, that you know, we all see a game in a certain way. I don't know a whole lot about goaltending, but when I'm looking at a net, I've got a pretty good idea where there might be openings. I have that forward mentality. You have a defensive mentality. The one thing that I've always been proud of, and I've had comments or compliments on, I would say, is the work ethic of my teams. And I feel like that's what the San Diego fan base will look for, is a really hard-working team. They're looking for honest, sincere effort every night, and I can guarantee that we'll bring that every night. So a little bit of my style of playing. I didn't leave too much off the ice, and plan on, like I always have, is have our players playing the same way.
Bob, a question. 4 years ago, this time, him.
Well, the biggest thing for me, and I have worked with Kevin in the past, I was coaching our AA affiliate when he was coaching Portland. I've been involved with training camps with him. But more importantly is he's been successful where he's been. And it goes to with what we've been saying. I know when Bob Murray was doing the search, we wanted somebody that's had success. And he's had success developing players for us. He's won this level. He took them to a conference final one year, and was a big part of developing the players that won the Stanley Cup in Anaheim. He's won the Stanley Cup. And, you know, you look at our organization, you know, we've got the people like Bob Murray, David McNabb that were around in 2007 when the Stanley Cup was. We've got Rick Patterson, who's won 4 Stanley Cups over the time. He's our director of player development. We've just hired Daryl Sutter, who's bringing two Stanley Cups with his experience. So it's all about developing to win, and Kevin fits that, and that's what we really believe in as a group in our organization. Is a big part of development is winning, and a big part of winning is development, and Kevin brings that, and he's proven it not only with our organization but with other organizations as well.
Kevin, I have a follow-up. The AHL now is different than it was maybe when you were in Portland. It's surely different from when you broke in with the Whalers. How big a challenge is it to develop a culture where you have a revolving door roster that's constantly in churn, and you're taking kids out of the Canadian junior leagues, you're taking college kids, you're taking veteran free agents who want to get to the NHL, you're taking frustrated guys that have been sent back down. How hard is it to mold all that with a constant churn of your roster day to day?
Well, I think there's challenges in everything you do, but hopefully the churn is players that are doing well going up to Anaheim. That's the goal, and for you deal with that every single day, and I think there's always lines of communication with your group, and you have a real diverse sometimes age mixture with players, and that's another attractive part about the San Diego is the Gulls have always supplied quality veterans in your lineup, and you know what, these kids have had a lot of experience, they expect a lot of feedback, and you know what, it's not always roses every day you come to work, but you know what, you go to work, you work hard, you try to get better, and I find that there's great satisfaction in that you go in there, you put the effort in, and then you know what, we live in a great place. Go out and enjoy your day. But while you're at that rink for those 4 hours, let's get our business done.